Hello everyone and welcome to the Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. One of the most disturbing things we see from many in positions of power and influence in the church is the constant downplaying and marginalization of nearly everything Catholic. Catholic identity is being erased. Case in point, big case in point. As many people know, a junior at Notre Dame died this last week when a scissor lift he was on filming football practice blew over in fierce winds. His name was Declan Sullivan, and he was 20 years old. May God rest his soul. At the football game against Tulsa a few days later, this past Saturday in fact, a prayer was offered for Declan. At least that's what you would expect, but it didn't happen. First, just before the game and on national television and a stadium crowd of over 80,000, the stadium announcer asked for a moment of silence in memory of Declan. What a politically correct waste of time. A moment of silence in his memory? What is that? What does that accomplish? The answer is nothing. What Declan, as all the faithfully departed, need is prayers, not people searching their own minds for a polite, well-intentioned memory of someone they never knew. Think about this. Here's a young man who just died quite suddenly and tragically. A few days later, the larger community to which he belonged is all gathered around the football field of the school he loved. 80,000 in the stands, millions watching on TV. A perfect, glorious moment for Notre Dame to offer an actual prayer for Declan's soul. And not a word. In fact, a void of nothing, meaningless silence. And that is so indicative of the view of many leaders in the church today. Substitute real solid Catholicism with a void of nothingness, meaningless babble that sounds nice, but in the end accomplishes absolutely nothing. Can any of the leadership at Notre Dame offer one solitary word of explanation as to how Declan would have benefited from that moment of nothingness? But if 80,000 people, presumably a large number of them Catholic, would have said an eternal rest for him, an actual prayer that draws down the mercy and grace of God on our dead brother, think of the inestimable graces that could have been afforded Declan. Why doesn't Notre Dame actually pray for the dead? Could it be they don't want to offer offense to some of the living, don't want to stress and put into practice that ancient Catholic tradition of praying for the dead for fear of offending someone who isn't Catholic? Hey, ND, here's a news flash. It's a Catholic school. Pray for the dead. Then in a move that could only be seen as rubbing salt in the wounds, Father Jenkins, the president of Notre Dame, he who invited Obama there, got on the public address system and offered a prayer for Declan's family and friends, but again, not a prayer for Declan, not a solitary breath for a soul who, like all of us, most likely needs our prayers because of being in purgatory. The rambling prayer offered by Jenkins could have just as easily been offered by any Protestant minister. The priest didn't even begin the prayer with the sign of the cross or end it with it either. Since Notre Dame's leadership chose to reject the opportunity to actually pray for Declan, we're going to ask you to join in with us now in a time-honored Catholic prayer for Declan. Eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon him. May he and the souls of all of the faithful departed rest in peace. Amen. Please pass this vortex along to as many people as possible and ask them to pray for Declan. We've also attached a link to one of our One True Faith programs, the episode on purgatory. It's linked right over here. Please watch it and pass it along to friends so we can all begin to recapture our Catholic identity that so many in the church seem intent on snuffing out. And for the record, November is the month the church sets aside to remember the poor souls in purgatory, the entire month. Please keep Declan and all the faithfully departed in your prayers until you meet them again. God bless you. I'm Michael Voris.